Another day and another Red Sox player placed back on the disabled list. Well, it is Dustin Pedroia, who missed last night's game after being out for better than 7 weeks, back to the DL tonight, and of course we realized there was a chance of this happening.
I knew it was going to be a chance where if I came back and played and it didn't do well, that I'd be out. I mean, I knew that. They told me that, so it just sucks that it happened. I thought that I'd play a couple days, and if I was sore, I'd have a day or two off and then be able to be fine, but that's really not the way it's working out right now.
They tried to impress upon him a lot that if it hurt, you better tell us, because then you're going to hurt yourself. And he did that, and I give him some credit. I mean, we appreciate him trying to play because he's really good. At the same time, and I know it's hard for good players to be honest, but if he goes out there and hurts it, then we're looking at something that we don't want to look at, and that's a surgery and things like that.
Now, the manager was brought to you by Bigelow Tea. Terry Francona's green tea of choice is welcome in Jerry Remy. And Jerry, tonight, after a couple of tough outings, a couple of good outings for John Lester.
The last two have been great outings for John Lester against the Texas Rangers and New York Yankees. He's really got things turned around. He had a tough stretch for a while, going 4 games where he was 0-4 in that particular time. The back end of that graphic with a 4.39 ERA, he was getting his strikeouts, but also giving up a lot of hits. But look at the last 2 starts against very good offenses. 2-0, not a run allowed, 14 in the third innings, 9 hits, and 11 strikeouts. And he's really the guy that you want starting this game off tonight against the Toronto Blue Jays, starting this series off, because so far this year against Toronto, he's been outstanding. 2-0 with a very low ERA against the Blue Jays, a team that can hit a lot of home runs.
Well, another beautiful night from Fenway Park as the homestand continues. We welcome the Blue Jays, and we welcome you back after this. three-game series between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, and welcome back inside the broadcast booth for Game 1 of the series as we welcome the Toronto Blue Jays to town. Well, the Blue Jays are known for one thing. That's home runs. They lead the majors far and away with 183 home runs on the year. However, since the All-Star break, the Red Sox have actually had more. We delve inside the numbers, and the Red Sox lead the American League in teams in home runs since the break and have multiple home runs in 6 of their last 9 games. Since the break, 3 of their top home run hitters in the American League are Red Sox. Adrian Beltre has 10. David Ortiz and Bill Hall have 9. And, of course, now Bill Hall will see more time at second base with Dustin Pedroia back on the DL. Speaking of the DL. To you by Southwest Airlines, your New England Subaru dealers, Dunkin' Donuts, your New England Ford dealers, Taco Bell, and by Nissan. John Lester making his way in from the bullpen as he has finished up his warm-up tosses, getting ready for his start tonight, his 25th start of 2010 as the Red Sox welcome in the Toronto Blue Jays to this 3-game series tonight. Lester with back-to-back very good outings, and this is a free swinging team the Toronto Blue Jays have with lots of home runs, lots of power as they come into Fenway Park with a record of 63 and 57. And they have lost their last 2 straight games. It's time now for a look at the game notes that are brought to you by Jordan's Furniture. The Red Sox are 9-3 this year against Toronto this season. They have won each of the previous 4 series. Jed Lowry is in the lineup for the 2nd straight day. He has had 6 career home runs. 3 have come against these Toronto Blue Jays. And Brett Cecil, who gets the start tonight for the Blue Jays, well, he is 9-6 on the year. He is 0-3 in his career against Boston. He is 0-1 at Fenway Park in 1 start. Has allowed 5 home runs here in his career. So Red Sox have taken care of him in the past. And with the Blue Jays coming to town, Jerry, another very important series for the Red Sox. We mentioned before, these are teams the Red Sox should beat and try to take advantage of here at home.
Well, they're all important, Don, from here on out. When you look at the standings, the Yankees in first place, Tampa Bay a game back, and then the Red Sox 6.5 games back of New York, and of course 5.5 back at Tampa Bay. And the Red Sox still have a week left on this homestand. The Toronto Blue Jays and the Seattle Mariners coming to town, and they have a chance to maybe pick up a couple of games in the standings, and they get their chance at Tampa Bay down in Tampa.
And again tonight, of course, the WEI Nesson Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon here at Fenway Park. And we hope that you will please help and open your hearts tonight and your checkbooks as well to try to strike out cancer As we take a look at the tote board at the moment, over $2 million so far raised, $2,146,111, and we hope to get that number much higher tonight in our second night, as the Red Sox have taken the field tonight, led by John Lester. As they do, let's check out the visiting Toronto Blue Jays starting 9. Fred Lewis leads it off. He's the DH, with Yunel Escobar at shortstop batting second. Jose Batistas in right field batting third. Vernon Wells in center field in the cleanup spot. John Buck does the catching. Aaron Hill is at second base with Lyle Overbay at first base. John McDonald, a late addition to the lineup. He is at third base. And batting ninth in left field is Travis Snyder. On the mound tonight for the Red Sox is the lefty John Lester, who is 13-7 coming into tonight's action, his 25th start, a 2.80 earned run average, his 25th appearance, and Lester has a .217 opponent batting average against him. He struck out 165 batters in 161 innings. Mentioned the last time out, a victory for him against the Texas Rangers, an 8-inning shutout performance, in which he gave up 5 hits, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 5.
The Red Sox defense is 7th in the American League. They've made 77 errors on the season. It'll be Adrian Beltre at third base, Paco Scudero the shortstop, Jed Lowry at second, and Mike Lowell the first baseman. Left to right, Bill Hall, Darnell McDonald, and J.D. Drew, and Victor Martinez doing the catching for John Lester.
Well, the umpiring crew tonight has Todd Titchener at the plate, calling the balls and strikes, with Bill Miller at first base, Eric Cooper at second base, and Chad Fairchild is the umpire at third. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas noches, amigos.
73 degrees to get it started tonight. Breeze in from center field at 7 miles per hour, and forecasting more of what we got right now, which is clear skies above Fenway Park, and really beautiful night here. Temperatures are perfect, and the Red Sox and Blue Jays ready to go. Red Sox fresh off taking 2 out of 3 from the Angels, and 9 out of 10 in that season series against LA. Lester ready, and the first pitch of this one is missing inside for ball 1, and we're underway.
Well, we talked about the success in the pregame show about what Lester has done against Toronto this year. 2-0 with a 1.38 ERA against the Blue Jays.
He is 6-3 in his career in that category. First strike of the night for Lester evens the count at 1-1. A 2.74 earned run average overall in 11 starts against the Blue Jays. He's fired 14 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings at the moment as he comes into tonight's outing. He's tied with the Twins' Brian Dunsing for the longest active streak among American League starting pitchers. And trying to keep it going tonight as he starts this game against the Jays. 2-1 is high, 3-1.
Lester starts the game 5th in the league in ERA. He is 3rd in the league in strikeouts, and 3rd in the league in opponents' batting average against.
165 strikeouts, trailing Jared Weaver, who just saw it as part of this homestand. Red Sox got to him in game 1. That series against the Angels. A leadoff walk for Fred Lewis. And it started here in the first inning. So lead runner on here for Toronto as Yunel Escobar, former Atlanta Brave, makes his way to the plate. Escobar 297, 3 homers, 10 runs batted in. It's coming from Atlanta to Toronto. Last 10 games he has been hot, hitting at .333. Shows bunt, drops it down third baseline. It's a good one. Beltre has Lester in his way, and reaching at first base is Escobar. He went to throw, and Lester was in the way.
It would have been a very close play at first base. As a matter of fact, I think Escobar probably would have beat it out. Beautiful bunt down that third base line. And there you see when he goes to make that sidearm throw, John Lester standing right there, so there's nothing Beltre could do.
Lucky he didn't hurt himself stopping that throw. So it is 1st and 2nd, a walk and a bunt. And the first two have reached here for the Toronto Blue Jays in the first inning. There's Jose Bautista, the right fielder, and his 37 home runs. To go along with 90 runs batted in, a .254 average. Major League leader in home runs as Lester frustrated, having to stop in his delivery. The late time call granted by Todd Tichenor, the home plate umpire.
.227 batting average to Bautista against Lester, who does have one home run against him.
Outside for ball one. This has been an amazing season for Bautista. And a lot left. He has 6 more home runs than anybody, as this one is lined out towards right center field and deep. McDonald headed back and make the catch shy of the track. As back go the runners to their respective bases, the throw is errant back into the infield and backed up by Lester. As Bautista's ball did not carry as well as I thought it was going to. McDonald back there makes the catch shy of the track for the first out here of the first inning.
Well, that's a base running mistake by Lewis at second base. With nobody out like that and a questionable fly ball, he should be back tagging up, because if that ball's caught, he's got to be at third base with less than 2 outs. He thought that ball was going to be a gapper and get trapped between third and second. He could not advance.
So 2 on, 1 away. Vernon Wells, the batter, hitting at .268, 22 homers, 60 runs batted in. Has been battling with dislocated toe. And last we saw the Blue Jays. Kickoff play at second base, and it's thrown into center field. Lewis with a late break towards third base, but a bobble in center by McDonald. And Lewis will get third base. He was very tardy and hesitant, being taken off after that throw from Lester ends up in center. And the error charge to Lester that gets Lewis to third base.
Can't remember the last time I saw Lester try to pick somebody off second base, and boy, that throw just went errant on him, wild in the center field, and 2 runners advance. You see the pickoff play put on by Jed Lowry, but the throw's not even close. Kind of a shaky start here in the first inning.
Well, out to the mound is Victor Martinez to try to calm down John Lester. No runs have scored yet, as Lester listening more than talking. Friday Night Baseball on NESN is brought to you by Ace Ticket. Great seats at great prices. 1 out here in the first inning. First and third for the Blue Jays. Vernon Wells, the batter, still has not yet seen a pitch. Now he has, and it's strike 1. Wells at home, hitting .319 at the Rogers Center. Run numbers pretty comparable. The average is not. Wells fouls it off and finds himself down 0-2.
It's been a struggle for Wells. He's only 3 for 22 on this current road trip that the Blue Jays are on. A trip that took him out west and back to Boston.
And just a .216 with runners in scoring position, even worse since June the 2nd, as he bats with Lewis at third, Escobar at second base. Ball, 2 strikes. Lester missing at 96. John Buck, the catcher, first-year catcher for the Blue Jays after several years in Kansas City as a member of the Royals. 1-2 pitch just missing. Lester wanted it. It's 2-2.
I believe this ball is going to be down and out of the strike zone from Lester. It's a fastball. Looks to be low and is a little bit low.
A couple of guys on the DL. Dustin Pedroia back to the DL today, and that was certainly a very big surprise, as it appeared that a little bit of soreness last night. This one's in the dirt, corralled by Martinez. A little bit of soreness last night turns into a DL today for Dustin Pedroia, and it certainly has to feel bad for Dustin, who worked so hard to get back and knew he wasn't 100%, but to go back on the DL today has to be very frustrating.
Yeah, and you work so hard to get back, you know, but the thing is you got to be smart about it. You keep trying to play on it, you make it worse, and eventually you may need some kind of a surgery, which would probably be a very difficult surgery. So Pedroia back on that 15-day disabled list, and of course he's down about it.
Ball 4, second walk of the inning allowed by Lester, and this is not starting well. This is now loaded for Toronto. Last 2 starts coming into tonight. Lester had just 3 walks, but tonight 2 walks in the first inning. John Buck with 277, 14 homers, 49 runs batted in. Just activated off the disabled list. He'd been on the DL with a right thumb problem and rehabbed in New Hampshire for 3 games. Before returning to the Jays, they sent JP Arancibia back to AAA. There's ball 1.
Everybody likes to go to New Hampshire in the summertime, right?
That's right. I go there for the All-Star break every year. I'm not sure John Buck really wanted to spend a lot more time in New Hampshire, though, to be honest.
The rehab assignment was just about enough.
Lewis at third, Escobar at second, Wells at first. 1 out here in the first inning, and Lester can get out of this. It's going to be something in the first. Here's a line drive towards right field. He's not going to get out of it. And he's in for a base hit. Lewis scores. Escobar's behind him. 2 runs in for the Jays. And Toronto cashing in on some chances here in the first to take a 2-0 lead.
Nice piece of hitting hit there by John Buck, as he'll go the other way with the fastball from John Lester. Inside out swing, line shot to right field, and 2 runs come across. So very unusual here in the first inning off Lester. A couple of walks, a couple of base hits, an errant throw to second base.
The key matchup is brought to you by New England Honda dealers. Aaron Hill and some very tough numbers. That's left-hander John Lester, just 2 for 23 against him, 9 Ks. As Hill stands in, hitting at 219 on the year. The average has not been good. The power numbers have been all right. 18 homers, 48 runs batted in for the first-round draft choice. Second baseman for the Jays, with Wells at third and Buck at first, and 2 runs in. Down and in for ball 1. Mitt Romney in the house tonight, as are many on this second night of the WEEI Ness and Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon. And tonight we'll have some guests coming along. Again, we hope you will help us along as we get that number up, as this is popped up into shallow right. The second baseman, Lowry, is out, and he makes the catch, no advance for the base runners. There's out number 2 of the first inning.
And Lester trying to find a pitch to get it out with, and he did. The changeup that time to Aaron Hill. Off-speed pitch down and away from Hill. A little bit of an off-balance swing, and that pop up to second base to get the out, the second out of the inning.
First and third, 2 down. And Lyle Overbay, the batter. 246, 13 homers, 47 runs batted in. Also has had a very tough road trip for the Jays. 3 for 18 on the current trip. As he fouls it back off to the left and out of play. The Jays started this road trip in Los Angeles against the Angels last Friday night, and then they played 3 in LA, 3 in Oakland, and Day off yesterday, and now 3 here in Boston for Cito Gaston's squad. Jays are 11.5 back of the Yankees to start tonight. They have 63 wins. 6 less than the Red Sox. As this pitch is in the dirt outside. The Mariners tonight are in New York to take on the Yankees. And Seattle getting to A.J. Burnett right out of the gate tonight in the first half, a 3-0 advantage. That's the Yankees. Well, Tampa Bay remains out in Oakland tonight for Game 2. Oakland won last night. It's outside, ball 2. Away again, 3-1. They've been very patient with John Lester so far in this first inning. Lester has walked 2. 1 single and a single to right. 2 runs in for the Toronto Blue Jays here in the first inning. First and third, 2 down. Good spot here for Overbay hitting with a count of 3-1. And he drives one to left field. Back goes Hall onto the warning track at the wall, and that ball is gone into the monster seats. Wow, Overbay on a 3-1 pitch takes it opposite field, a 3-run home run that puts Toronto on top 5-0 in the top of the first inning.
Lyle Overbay came into this game with a .235 average against John Lester. He got himself a 3-1 count, a fastball count, and goes to the opposite field with this swing. A high fly ball. The question was it going to be enough to get out of here or scrape the wall on the way down? It had enough to get out.
This is a base hit down the line and left to the corner. Over to play it is Hall, is headed to second base is John McDonald. Easily into second with a stand-up double.
Boy, this is so rare to see in a John Lester start, having these kind of problems early. Just doesn't look like he came out of that bullpen comfortable at all.
Let's see if he can find his bearings here. About to face the 9th member of the Jays of the first inning. He had given up just 4 first inning runs all season. Now a total of 9 with the 5 in this first inning. And a swing and a miss for Travis Snyder. Snyder batting .9, .236. 8 homers, 21 runs batted in. Hitting with .224 since being recalled. He's been back the last 14 games from AAA Las Vegas. The 1 pitch fouled off Victor Martinez, and it's 0-2.
Starts off Snyder with back-to-back curveballs. And quickly gets ahead 0-2. The last breaking ball here from John Lester, fouled, tipped right off the knee of Victor Martinez.
No 2 pitch to Snyder. Hauls it off to the left. Hangs tough, protecting the plate. Eight men have batted here in the first inning for the Jays. 5 have scored. Overbay with the big blast. 3-run home run, his 14th home run of the year. 184th of the year for the Jays. Swing and a miss. Snyder strikes out to end the inning. But the Jays score 5 times and lead it 5-0. Back at Fenway Park where the Blue Jays are off to the fast start on top 5-0. Let's check out the Red Sox starting lineup brought to you by New England Chevy dealers. Marco Scutaro at the top of the order at shortstop, leading it off with Jed Lowry at second base. Victor Martinez doing the catching with David Ortiz at DH. Adrian Beltre at third base with Mike Lowell at first base. J.D. Drew in right field bats seventh. Bill Hall in left field eighth. And Darnell McDonald in center field bats ninth. 328 average for Lowell in his career against Toronto. Back in there tonight at first base. It is Brett Cecil who's on the mound for the Jays. 21st start of the year, looking for win number 10. He's 9-6 with a 3.96 ERA. And it's hitting at 239 against Cecil. He's 0-3 in his career against Boston with an ERA over 6. And Saturday a loss against the Angels out in LA. 5 2/3, 10 hits, 7 runs. Long and a strikeout. Red Sox trying to gather some momentum here, and they get some time to do it. That's the good news, as the Blue Jays scored 5 times in the first. And the Red Sox coming to bat for the first time tonight. Scutaro takes ball 2. Cecil had a 5-game winning streak in the middle of May to the middle of June with a 1.47 ERA, his best stretch. A high strike to Scutaro, and it's 2-2. Last start against the Red Sox back on April 28th at the Rogers Center. Lost 2-0 in 6 innings, giving up 5 hits, 1 earned run. Not a bad outing in his first start. This is into right field for Scutaro. Batista over to play it. Scutaro will hold on with a single. Batista's got a great arm out there in right field. No reason to challenge it. Down 5-0. And a single to start it in the bottom of the first.
And that extends a hitting streak for Scutaro down to 7 straight games as he gets a high changeup and takes it right down that first baseline for the base hit. Batista hustling over. Batista's got 10 assists on the season, so you got to be very careful with his throwing arm.
Marco Scutaro now the 7-gamer and 346. And on to begin things here in the bottom of the first inning. Here's Jed Lowry. He was in there last night in the absence of Dustin Pedroia, and in there again tonight in the absence of Pedroia. Pedroia placed on the DL. Lowry at 304, 2 homers and 7 runs batted in. In last night's game he was 1 for 4 with a double. It's a fly ball to center field. Vernon Wells is under it and makes the catch for the first out.
The Toronto defense is 3rd in the American League. They've only made 59 errors on the season. John McDonough will be at third base. Yunel Escobar, the shortstop. Aaron Hill at second, and Lyle Overbay, the first baseman. Left field to right field, Travis Snyder, Vernon Wells, and Jose Batista. And John Buck doing the catching for Cecil.
One on, one out, and Victor Martinez the batter. For 279, 10 home runs, 46 runs batted in. And for strike 1 to Victor. Outside for ball 1, 1-1. This is to shallow right center. Wells coming in, won't get there. Drops in for a base hit. Victor Martinez has got a single. Scutaro takes second base.
Martinez continues to hit the ball well, in particular from the right side of the plate. A 394 hitter coming into the game right-handed, 235 left-handed. Loops one in front of Vernon Wells, so the Red Sox have a couple of base runners.
2 on, 1 away. Trying to cut into this 5-run deficit here in the first inning as David Ortiz digs in. 268, 27 homers, 78 runs batted in. David with a half-hearted swing, swings and misses. 10-game hitting streak coming into tonight's action for Ortiz, hitting at .350. In the last 10 games, 3 home runs, 5 runs batted in along the way. He's 1 for 5 in his career against Brett Cecil, and that includes a home run. David hitting a home run here last night, his 27th of the year. And 1 pitch is inside. David is 1 home run shy of his total from a year ago. Finished the year with 28 home runs last season.
So last year he didn't have one till what, June?
June 1st.
June 1st was his first home run.
Games against the Jays. He was 2 of his 27 home runs against Toronto this year. Goes Scudero at second base. Victor Martinez at first. 1 out. In there for strike 2, and it's 2-2. Before the ball game tonight, as part of our pregame ceremony here at Fenway Park, Meredith Vieira and Maura Tierney both throwing out first pitches. And they will both be joining us during the game tonight as part of our Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon from Fenway Park. One out, first and second. Ortiz waiting on a 2-2. Swing and a miss. Cecil strikes him out. First K for Cecil, 2 down in the first inning.
After a number of fastballs, Cecil goes to the breaking ball to pick up the strikeout. Slided down and away from David Ortiz. That's the 115th time that Ortiz has struck out this year. He's among the league leaders in strikeouts. Jackson in Detroit leads with 129. He's a leadoff hitter. Austin Jackson.
Here's Adrian Beltre, 327 start tonight. As he takes strike 1, 23 homers, 84 runs batted in to go along with a hefty batting average. He's 4th in the American League to start tonight in batting average. Josh Hamilton on top at 353. Down and in, 1-1. A little stumble at the end of that delivery for Brett Cecil.
Looks like Cecil caught a cleat during that delivery to home plate.
1-1 is outside, and it's 2-1 now to Adrian Beltre. Cecil earlier this year, May 3rd at Cleveland, took a perfect game into the 7th inning. Lost it with 1 out. And then the no-hitter 3 batters later. Beltre down the third baseline, foul. Knocked on by McDonald, but a foul ball. Set a career high in that game against Cleveland. He did win that game, incidentally, 5-1. He went 8 innings, 1 hit ball in that outing against the Indians. Set a career high with 10 strikeouts. Comes in at 9-6 and presented a 5-run lead here before he even took the mound tonight. Beltre with a swing and a miss, strikes out, and Cecil gets out of a first inning jam. Played 1. It's 5-0 Toronto. Yes. Okay. Hey, how you doing? Ron Marcelo, how are you? Very nice to meet you. Good.
Hi, I'm Jerry. Good, how are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
On it.
Top half of the second inning back at Fenway Park. 5-0. The Toronto Blue Jays on top as John Lester back on the hill here for the Red Sox. In the second inning after a very tough first inning, giving up 5 runs. Well, it is great to have with us Maura Tierney, who joins us tonight, and we thank you so much. Very nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice first pitch you threw out there.
I was, thanks.
The first time?
It's the first time, and I thought I had to do it from the mound, so I was practicing for that many feet. Not quite succeeding, so I got a little break, so it's good.
Well, you and Meredith Vieira both out there doing that tonight, and thank you so much for being here as part of the Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon. And we're going to get a look at this pitch as this one is lying down the left field line, and that is fair as it heads to the corner. And over to play it in the corner for the Red Sox is Hall, and into second base with a double to get it started is Fred Lewis. And here is the ceremonial first pitch.
Oh, good, I get to see. There's Meredith.
He waited for a cue there. Not bad.
I'm so happy he got it. He's from my neighborhood, I think.
I want to ask you about that. A Boston native, Hyde Park, yes?
Yeah, uh-huh.
So to come back here to Fenway Park's got to be pretty cool for
It's
you.
the greatest thing. I mean, I've been coming here my whole life. And the last time I here, I think, was Easter Sunday. But this is great to be here with the Jimmy Fund, too. It's great because it's just...
As McDonald, or Escobar rather, shows bunt, pulls back and takes a ball. You've had a battle of your own from what we understand.
I have. And so did my dad. So, you know, this has sort of touched my life in a bunch of ways. So one in a more victorious way than the other. But it's they just do great work regarding research, which is the thing. You know, that's the thing.
And that's really the reason we're here, and the reason that we hope that Red Sox Nation will step up tonight in a big way as they have in the past and donate tonight, because that all goes to the research, and hopefully we won't have to do this year in and year out.
Absolutely. I mean, there's, you know, fortunately, the kind of cancer I had, they have, you know, a treatment for and a cure for. The kind of cancer my dad had, they don't yet, and his is a more common kind than mine. So there is, you know, there's progress. It just has to, you know, you have to pay for it.
1-2-0 pitch to Escobar, missing. Born
What
and
is it?
raised.
Where are we? What is the? How many outs are there?
We are in the
None.
second inning.
We're not doing
None.
too well.
Okay. All right. I was.
Things aren't going well yet.
Things are not going very
I'm
well
going
at
to
the
keep the
moment.
faith. I hope that my first pitch was not a bad luck.
Oh, no.
Still early, plenty of time.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, good. Let's blame Meredith.
3-0 pitch coming here to Escobar. And that is in there for strike one, 3-1. So how many times do you think you came here as a kid?
Oh, gosh, a lot. Because I came here as a little kid, and then I came here in high school. Used to hang out in the bleachers. So, I mean, I can't even count how many times.
Numerous times.
Numerous times. So this is my favorite. I also love Wrigley Field, which I've been to.
Sure.
And Camden Yards, my 3 favorite. And I've been to the new You-Know-What Stadium.
Ooh, yeah. It's not the same as the old You-Know-What Stadium.
It's not. I mean, the architecture is really nice, but it's kind of cool.
It's not as homey as the old place.
No.
Well, if you could tell fans out there who may be on the fence as to whether or not to donate tonight, what would you say to those folks out there?
As I said before, I got lucky because they made advances in a drug that speaks to exactly my kind of cancer. My father was not lucky because they haven't quite gotten there yet, but they can get there. They can get there. It's just, they're this far away from covering everybody.
What are you doing now?
I'm doing a new TV show. It's called, I forgot the name for a sec. It's called The Whole Truth.
This is into left field, and it's a base hit for Yunel Escobar as Lewis takes third base. 2 hits off Lester to start the inning. Maura Tierney, it is great to meet you, and thank you so much for coming up and your efforts here tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks,
This is the coolest POV. It's really wonderful. Thanks a lot.
Nice meeting you. Thank you.
Well, the Red Sox off to a rough start, and we hope you can help tonight in the Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon. 877-738-1234 is the number to call. And we'll take a look at the tote board as well. Right now at 2,306,070 at the moment, hoping for much more tonight. And we thank all of you who already have been able to contribute. And we thank Maura for being along with us here in the booth.
Take all you want.
This is in the air to center field. Darnell McDonald is back. And he makes the catch for the out. Tagging the third base is Fred Lewis. He will score the 6th Toronto run. And it is 6-0 Jays out of the gate as Batista picks up a sacrifice fly in his 91st RBI of the year. Now there is action in the Red Sox pen for the first time tonight. Scott Atchison is warming up. 40 pitches. This would be the 40th for Lester of his outing. Third time this season the Lester has given up 6 or more runs. His season high was 7 against Toronto. Wells hits it on the ground to shortstop. Scudero will go to second for 1, on to first for 2. Turn the double play. Lester and the Red Sox needed that. The Jays add a run and lead it 6-0. speedometer app from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts at bluecrossma.com/goalgetter. Red Sox trailing 6-0 as they bat here in the bottom of the second inning. Mike Bull will lead it off. And it's ball one from Brett Cecil. A good-sized lead to work with. Had a 5-run lead before he even took the mound tonight. And the Jays get another run off Lester in the top half of the second. Chop to third. McDonald's got it. Throw across in plenty of time. One down. Today, up to 3 million viewers outside of New England are watching the Jimmy Fund Telethon on NESN National. Available on DirecTV and Dish Network all year long. These fans are able to watch Red Sox and Bruins pre- and post-game coverage, NESN Daily, Hockey East games, original NESN entertainment programming, and more. We want to thank those DirecTV and Dish Network NESN National viewers for watching and, of course, for their contributions to the Jimmy Fund. With one out, J.D. Drew on the left side, hitting at 259, 16 homers, and 57 runs batted in. Slaps it foul off to the left. Red Sox got 2 hits off Cecil in the first inning. Single to right in the first, single to center for Victor Martinez. Two-one to Drew. There's a foul tip at the dish, and it's 2-2. JD in there tonight against the left-hander. And Drew against left-handed pitching on the season, hitting at 174 for his 16 home runs off lefties. Rolls it over foul, still 2-2.
Seeing a couple of different fastballs from Cecil. The straight fastball about 90-91, and then that cut fastball at about 88. Go along with the breaking ball and changeup.
Drew pops it up into shallow left field. Out is McDonald, the third baseman. Gives way to the shortstop. Escobar makes the catch for the second out of the second. The Monster Seats at Fenway Park are maybe the best seats in baseball, and now you have a chance of winning Monster Seats with Monster Money. It's the Red Sox instant game from the Massachusetts Lottery, and there are instant prizes up to $3 million as well. Visit masslottery.com now. 1-2 down here in the second inning. And Bill Hall, the batter. 247, 16 homers, 38 runs batted in. Imagine he will see time, as well as Jed Lowry at second base now in the absence of Dustin Pedroia. Mentioned Bill Hall off the top. And his power numbers really skyrocketed since the All-Star break. There's Pedroia back on the DL. A 1-0 missing. Ball 2-0. And for Hall, very good numbers against Toronto. Shallow left. Snyder coming in. And they put it away. It's a 1-2-3 second for Cecil. We played 2 at 6-0 Toronto.
Who is he?
Just about Fox 25, I think.
Oh.
And then back at Fenway, where the Blue Jays have a 6-0 lead over the Red Sox. So we head to the top half of the third inning. John Buck leading it off here for the Jays. John Buck only had a single to drive in a pair of runs as part of a 5-run first off John Lester. This is sharply hit into left center field. Buck is 2 for 2. Now it's first and will hold with a single to begin things here in the third inning. So far, John Lester has not been a mystery tonight.
No, this is not the John Lester we've seen in the last couple of starts. That's a changeup that stays up in the zone, and Buck with a topspin ground ball up the middle for the base hit. We're going to see action again start out in that Red Sox bullpen.
Well, if you're thinking about long men, you got Wakefield, who worked in last night's game.
Yeah.
Which is an issue. Working, what, 3 innings last night?
Well, this would be kind of the ideal situation for him to give some innings.
Yes. As the pitch is outside, ball 1. The 1-0 is rip foul down the third base line, and it's 1-1. Here's some good news. The Seattle Mariners have a 4-0 advantage over the Yankees and A.J. Burnett tonight.
Hey, go UMs.
Casey Kochman has got an RBI in that one. Russell Brandon hitting a 3-run home run in the first inning off A.J. Burnett. One is down low, 2-1. Lester surrenders 5 runs in the first, 1 in the second. Get off single to John Buck here in the third, and now Aaron Hill, who opts out to second base, first time up. Ball 3, 3-1. Fifth batter already. John Lester's at a 3-ball count too. There's a strike, full count. As I mentioned, coming into tonight's action this season, Lester has been 2-0 with a 1.38 ERA against the Jays. There's ball 4, and that did not miss by very much. Let's check back in with Heidi.
Well, Don, I have an update on the state of Red Sox catching. Jared Saltalamacchia is improving. Terry Francona said still no word on what exactly the infection is, but they have localized it, and he is getting better. Kevin Cash is going to head out on a rehab assignment. He'll catch at Pawtucket tomorrow and in Lowell on Sunday. Jason Varitek's conference call with the doctors in Carolina and the Red Sox medical staff went well, he said. He said he's progressing. He was able to catch bullpens back-to-back days, but he still needs improvement in his running and his lateral movement. No timetable on his return just yet. Don?
All right, Heidi, thank you very much. 2 on, nobody out. And Lyle Overbay had a big blast in the first inning, a 3-run home run. Getting a second look at John Lester.
Heidi's got quite an education this year in medical terms. It's been quite a growing experience as far as medical school for Heidi.
A lot of new terms we've learned this year that we never knew before. A lot of new injuries.
Yeah.
The pitching line is brought to you by Ace Ticket. Lester 2+, 7 hits, 6 runs, 3 walks, K, and 50 pitches.
I think I got a broken rib gun. I haven't had it checked out, but I think it's broken. I really do.
It's getting worse.
It's not getting better, I can tell you that.
Fly ball out to deep left. Has Overbay done it again? Into the monster seats he has. Opposite field, third time. 3-run home run here for Overbay. And it is now a 9-0 Blue Jays lead. Here comes Terry Francona. 9-0 Jays. As well. And right now, just thinking about 9-0, Jays on top. Donald rolls it over, foul.
One of those nights for Lester where he just didn't have a thing. I mean, just couldn't find anything that worked for him early in this game. Fastball, breaking ball, changeup. Had only given up 2 home runs to left-handers all season long. Overbay with 2 in this game.
Call to the bullpen. He is brought to you by New England Ford Dealers. Scott Atchison answers that call as here he is in the 3rd inning with nobody out. Ground ball back off of him. He knocks it down, turns and fires. And Lowell had his arm hit there as the throw was into the runner. And McDonald running into him, but Mike appears to be okay.
Yeah, very dangerous here for Mike Lowell as that throw is up the line. He has to catch it, and then he gets nabbed by McDonald. But fortunately, Lowell okay. McDonald trying to duck out of the way and get that first base back.
One down for Travis Snyder, who lines this into center field for a base hit. Snyder, who struck out back in the first innings, got a hit. And now 9 hits in the game for the Jays. Atchison out of the pen first tonight, his 28th appearance, 2-1 record, 3.95 earned run average, and sitting at 237 against him. Fred Lewis walked in the first inning and scored, doubled in the second inning and scored. As he takes strike 1. Strike 2, and it's 0-2. Atchison making the club out of the spring training this season for the Red Sox. And he has worked in so many different capacities for Terry Francona this year. Not sure at the beginning of the year that you imagine that he would be working this much or this many different ways for the Red Sox during the season.
Last pitch looked to be a pretty good one. Let's see. Should be strike 3.
That's inside. It's 2-2. Todd Tichenor has the plate tonight. Lewis kind of gets jammed and flips it out to center field. His second hit of the night. Third time he's been on base, and it's 10 hits for the Jays. They have come out swinging tonight.
Well, welcome back to the East Coast for the Toronto Blue Jays. My goodness. 9 runs already in this game, 10 hits. Fastball inside actually kind of jams Lewis a little bit, but the base hit into center field.
Lyle Overbay with 2 home runs, both 3-run shots, both opposite field shots. The 8th time in his career that he's had 2 home runs in a game, and he's tied his career high already with 6 RBIs. And that was all against left-hander John Lester. The 1 is outside to Escobar, and it's 1-1. Coming in, John Lester at a 2.80 earned run average, and with the 9 earned runs, moves up to 3.26. 2+ innings, 8 hits, 9 runs, 3 walks, and a strikeout. 1 out here in the 3rd inning, 3 runs in. Houston second. And a 1-2 pitch to Escobar is sent down the third baseline. Beltre will tag the runner. For the second out of the inning, he gets Snyder on the way by.
I doubt very much had Beltre gone around the horn, he would have got the double play, so he just takes that sure route of the runner heading into third base.
Overstock.com presents the ultimate Red Sox experience, which includes turning the scoreboard during the Red Sox-Yankees game on October 2nd. Go to Overstock.com for details. The board has been turning tonight in the wrong direction. And it is 9-0. Jays on top as they're looking for more as Batista is after that high fastball, and it's 0-1. Batista is flying out to center, and last time up, that is sacrifice fly to center field. Drops in there for strike 2, and it's 0-2. Atchison that time with a curveball.
Yeah, most of the time we see fastball, cut fastball from Atchison, but that time, as you mentioned, Don, the curveball to pick up the second strike.
There's a pop-up in the infield, and Jed Lowry will drift to the outfield to make the play that ends the inning with 3 more runs on a 3-run home run by Overbay. A 9-0 Jays lead. at Fenway Park. So strange to see this. John Lester giving up 9 runs in 2+ innings tonight as the Jays have a 9-0 advantage. Red Sox trying to work it chipping away here. Darnell McDonald leading it off in the bottom of the 3rd inning. McDonald, Scutaro, and Lowry. Darnell at 270 to start the night. 8 homers and 30 runs batted in. Fooled in the pitch, and it's 1-1. There's been some long waits for Brett Cecil. He had 2 hits in the first, but then struck out Ortiz and Beltre, and then had a 1-2-3 second. I was wondering about a starting pitcher edgewise once they've got themselves a big lead, 9-0. You hope it doesn't change if you're the Blue Jays manager's thought process. This is through the left side of the left field, a base hit. Darnell McDonald with a single to start the 3rd inning. Well, the ultimate driving machine this week is Darnell McDonald, brought to you by your local Massachusetts BMW Center. Visit bmwmass.com. Darnell McDonald, 4 games, 5 for 11 at .455 with 2 home runs, 1,091 slugging percentage. Damage to a vehicle. That might have been a BMW too.
Not quite a BMW.
No. Goes Scutaro. Takes a pitch for a strike over the inside corner.
But a fine automobile it is,
nevertheless. Scutaro is one of 3 hits off Cecil tonight. He singled to right in the 1st inning. Former Toronto Blue Jay. Goes to right again. A base hit for Scutaro. Up to second base goes McDonald. Back-to-back hits for Boston to begin things here in the 3rd inning.
Well, the 2nd time tonight, Scutaro's got a changeup, and the 2nd time he's taken it to the opposite field. Changeup away that time at 81 miles an hour, and Scutaro has McDonald for the base hit.
Two on, nobody out. And Jed Lowry, the batter, flied out to center field in the 1st inning, 0 for 1. Strike 1 to Lowry. It's a fly ball to center field. Vernon Wells is out there, and he'll make the catch for the first out here in the 3rd inning. What could be better than winning a pair of Green Monster tickets? How about throwing out a ceremonial first pitch? Pick up the Boston Sunday Globe this Sunday, August 22nd, and find out how you could win one of these 2 great prizes. And that Monster tonight has worked against the Red Sox. Kyle Overbay hitting 2 out there in the Monster seats tonight. 2 3-run home runs as part of this 9-0 Blue Jays lead. Victor Martinez with 2 on and 1 out. A single in the 1st inning. And Sue takes strike 1. Swing and a miss, down 0-2.
That's that little cut fastball right there, it looks like, from Cecil to quickly get ahead 0-2 on Victor Martinez, keeping it down out of the zone.
Donald at second base, Scutaro at first, 1 out. Richard grounds it foul, protecting the plate, still 0-2. 3 hits here on Wednesday night against the Angels, but it was 0 for 4. in last night's game. Outside ball 1-2. Brett Cecil coming in with an 0-3 record against Boston, 7.80 ERA. It's not been one of his better teams that he has faced. Tonight has kept them off the scoreboard, and the Red Sox threatening here in the third with 2 on, 1 out. Martinez hits on the ground to short. Escobar to second for 1, on to first for 2. And a double play ends the third inning. The Blue Jays have a 9-0 lead. The Rat. Yep, like the Rat. Uno's new menu is packed with flavor like avocado egg rolls, shrimp tikka masala, and lobster roll with bacon and tarragon mayonnaise. Just a few of 81 reasons why Uno is way deeper than pizza. Then is the fourth inning at Fenway Park. It's 9-0. Blue Jays on top. Hitting the Red Sox 10-4. Scott Atchison into his second inning of relief. Aaron Wells leading it off and sending a fly ball down the right field line. J.D. Drew over towards the stands, onto the track to make the catch. Made it in fair ground before running into foul territory. Let's send it down to Heidi.
Well, Don, I'm joined by Dr. David Frank, an oncologist who deals with blood cancers, essentially. Can you tell us what work you're doing in the field?
Well, I do two things. I take care of patients with leukemias, lymphomas, and other blood disorders, and I also run a research laboratory dedicated to developing new treatments for patients with cancer.
And the research is one of the big things that gets helped with all the donations from the Jimmy Fund Telethon here. What type of research is going on these days?
Well, we're trying to develop targeted forms of therapy to kill the cancer cells and not cause harm to the normal cells of the patients, and we think that those treatments will be more effective and much less toxic to the patients.
Now, not only when you make a gift to the Jimmy Fund and the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute through this telethon by calling 877-738-1234, can you help patients and families who are fighting this disease, but you're also helping with the research, which, like in labs like yours, is one of the most important things. There are 700 clinical trials going on right now, correct? Now, can you tell us why should someone donate right now?
Well, we're dedicated to helping patients right now, the patients who walk through the door with cancer, as well as the patients in the future. And we're really dedicated to trying to decrease the burden of cancer in America and around the world.
Now, you're also involved in the Jimmy Fund Walk every year. How did you get involved with that?
Well, the family of a patient of mine started a team to raise money for our research and for Dana-Farber, and I wanted to be walking with them shoulder to shoulder, and I've now been doing it for over 15 years, and it's a wonderful experience.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Frank, for joining us here. And once again, that number, 877-738-1234. We're going to be here manning the phones until midnight for the Jimmy Fund Telethon. Please call in and make a gift. Thank you for your time. Back to you, Don.
All right, Heidi, thank you very much. And again, we've heard so many of those stories of things that are working now, research that is working now, but we certainly need more help. And that help can come from you tonight, and we hope you will do so.
And, Don, you'll be leaving the booth after the game and going down to the studio to close out the show tonight.
Yes, Catherine Tappan and I will be wrapping it up tonight. And hopefully that number will be higher, as this one is high to center field, and back to play it is McDonald to end the top of the fourth inning. Atchison is a 1-2-3 inning, and 9-0 Blue Jays lead. Get your gear from the official source, the RedSox.com shop. Accept no substitutes. What you won't get is that hair or that suit.
Ah, look at that. Happy 21st birthday.
You don't look well, Jerry. You're kind of
jaundiced.
Yes. But your moss is fabulous. Terrific, thick, flowing red.
I might try red.
David Ortiz leads it off here in the fourth inning. Ortiz struck out in the first inning. One of two Ks for Brett Cecil has lived dangerously in this game. With the exception of the offensive support he's gotten, the Red Sox have the 2 hits off him in the first, 2 hits off him in the third. And nothing to show for it as Ortiz to deep left. This one will rattle off the wall. Center fielder Vernon Wells guns it towards second base, and nobody's there. Kind of gets knocked down by Escobar, but it's a wall ball double for Ortiz to start the fourth inning, and more hits off Brett Cecil.
And David Ortiz extends his hitting streak now to 10 to 11 games. Excuse me. Been going the opposite field quite a bit recently. Gets a fastball at 10, or maybe a changeup at 81, and takes it to the opposite field off the wall.
Safe at second, safe and secure, New York Life. swing and a miss for Adrian Beltre. With nobody out here in the fourth inning, Beltre struck out swinging in the first inning. One of 2 Ks for Brett Cecil in the game tonight. Downstairs for ball 1, 1-1.
Did you ever think, Don, that the president might be watching our broadcast tonight from down the Cape? They're on vacation.
That's very possible. Yeah, not the first time they've been there on vacation either.
No. A lot of presidents have watched our games from Cape Cod, from Maine.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the score is not exactly the way we like it right now at 9-0.
Let's see if we can give him a White Sox update, because that's probably what he cares about. It is scoreless in the first. The White Sox are in Kansas City.
Yeah, big game.
This, the president, a White Sox fan. This is foul tipped at the dish, and it is 2-2. Twins are winning 1-0 in the second inning. Is, of course, 4 games between the Twins and the White Sox. You ever thought about running for president?
Are you kidding me?
You're already president of Red Sox Nation.
That's enough. President, the responsibility of that is incredible.
Big thing, president. No, like all of it.
Too many. They dig into the closet.
Skeletons would come crawling out from everywhere.
Stuff comes out.
They would look into your dicey past. Swing and a foul. It's 2-2. Mariners add another run. Ichiro with a ground out that produces a run that has the Mariners on top 5-0 over A.J. Burnett. So at least the Yankees are losing tonight, as the Red Sox trail 9-0 here. Tampa Bay is on the West Coast against Oakland tonight. Rolled foul, still 2-2. Down and in, Beltre swings and misses and strikes out second time. Cecil has struck out Beltre, 3rd K for Beltre.
It's again a slider, it looks like, down in the dirt, and Beltre chases it. So the second time he's got him on a breaking ball back in the first inning.
Cecil gets Ortiz in the first, Beltre in the first, and now Beltre again in the fourth. 3 Ks for Cecil. 1 out, Ortiz at second base, and Mike Lowell the batter. Mike grounded out to third base in the second inning, 0 for 1.
You mentioned a lot of celebrities here tonight. We showed you Mitt Romney earlier. Right next to him, Bill O'Reilly in the no spin zone. Sitting right next to Romney.
Is there no spin zone on what's tonight? Friday nights?
Maybe he tapes it.
Oh.
Or maybe they got a guest host. I don't know.
2-0 to Lowell.
Makes quite a few visits a year to Fenway Park. See him here quite often.
Tap foul, 2-1. You didn't mention ZZ Top is here too.
Wow. All the celebs are out tonight.
I don't know if he knows there's no smoking at Fenway Park.
If he ever lit that thing, that beard go up too. That's quite a look, though. It's a good look. I like it.
This could become celebrity lookalike night here at Fenway. 2-1 pitch is low, 3-1. Eddie Drew waiting on deck. 1 out in the fourth.
How about if the president called in to the broadcast?
That would be a nice touch.
You could do that.
We certainly could.
Call anywhere you want.
We have that technical capability. Jammed in a pop-up, sending Hill out to short right to make the catch for the second out of the fourth inning. Red Sox Baseball on Nesson is brought to you in part by Eastern Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox television network. Eastern Bank, the best team in banking. 1-2 down here in the fourth inning. David Ortiz started the inning with a double. And Cecil has got Beltre to strike out, Lowell to pop out. And here is J.D. Drew. Popped out to short in the second inning, and a swing and a miss. That Cecil has allowed 14 earned runs in his last 5 starts. And has not given up a run so far tonight with 2 outs in the fourth inning. This one fouled back, 0-2. Drew with a swing and a miss. Fastball elevated. He chases. 4 Ks for Cecil. Red Sox don't score in the fourth and trail 9-0. Or not, find your seats at A's Ticket. Call 1-800-MY-SEATS. Some defensive changes for the Red Sox as we move along to the top half of the 5th inning. And it is Daniel Nabu's now in left field as Bill Hall moves from left to second base. And from second to first is Jed Lowry. So Mike Lowell comes out of the game. While Overbay leads it off and fouls it off to the left. As he's hit 2 3-run home runs in this game. And that's for the 3rd time. This is to center field. McDonald is there. He makes the catch. And there's one down. Further action for the Red Sox in the pen as Michael Bolden is warming. John McDonald batting for the 3rd time, doubled in the first, grounded back to the mound in the 3rd. 1 for 2 as he fouls it off. one is up and away, and it's 1-1. Hutchinson has thrown 28 pitches since coming into this game, and he's into his third inning of relief. Red Sox need some innings and some outs from him right now. This is lined into center field, a base hit for John McDonald, his second hit of the night. 2 for 3.
Now, McDonald was not in the starting lineup tonight. Encarnacion was. He was scratched. McDonald put in, and he's got a double and now a single. 2 for 3 in the ball game. Line drive up the middle for the base hit.
There's Travis Snyder, who has struck out and singled. Right back off Atchison. It kicks out towards first base, and reaching will be Snyder. Atchison getting it in the leg, it appeared. There's a hit as Terry Francona and Greg Barajas are quickly out of the Red Sox dugout.
Right back up the middle at Atchison, and a ball away. Looks like it hits off his leg or his foot and deflects out towards second base. I think he was pointing to his foot.
Terry Francona is going to make the change. He was going to throw a couple warm-up tosses, but Terry decides to make the change, and he's going to go get Michael Bolton. So 9-0, Toronto on top. Check that as we're still in the midst of the top of the 5th inning, and the new pitcher is Michael Bowden in the game. With 1 out in the inning, his 6th appearance of the year, 2.08 earned run average, 333 opponent batting average. takes over for Scott Atchison, who leaves after 2 innings and a third, and is responsible for the 2 men on. The Jays have runners at first and second with 1 out. Fred Lewis has had quite a night already. He's been on base 3 times. A walk, a double, and a single. Leading the way in hits for the Jays. They have 6 batters with at least 2 hits. The 1-0 is outside, 2-0. Clears it foul off to the left, back and out of play. Nice grab.
Nice catch going away and stepping over a couple of people and seats in the process. Getting the job done.
Two-1 is on the ground right side. It is Hall who goes to second base for a force out there as they're able to get Snyder. On to third base goes McDonald. And reaching is Lewis. Well, every year NESN is proud to spend thousands of man hours helping to make the WEI NESN Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon a success. And every year we're also happy to reach into our pockets and make a gift to the Jimmy Fund to help reach the goal. This year through the generosity of fellow co-workers, some of whom you have seen on our Yawkey Way stage in the broadcast booth and volunteering on the phones. NESN staff and crew are making a donation of $10,000, which is the network will match for a total of NESN contribution of $20,000. If you haven't done so already, please join us in supporting the Jimmy Fund by making a gift at NESN.com or by calling 877-738-1234. Two down here in the 5th inning. Miguel Escobar, 2 hits in the game, 2 for 3. And a pitch inside, 2-0. Drive to deep left field. Back goes Nava at the wall, and it's off the wall. Scoring from third base is McDonald. Here comes Fred Lewis all the way around from first. 2 more runs are in. And it is 11-0. The Toronto Blue Jays on top here in the 5th inning. A double for Escobar that produces 2 more Blue Jay runs.
Escobar thought he had himself a home run. He was just cruising to first base, watching the baseball. It scrapes off the wall, and Escobar gets into second with the double. But he thought he had enough for a home run. Three hits in the ball game tonight already for Escobar. A bunch single, a single in the second, now the double here in the 5th.
Runs charged to Scott Atchison. As Bowden deals with a strike to Jose Batista. 1 for 2. The sacrifice fly is Batista. Picks up his 91st RBI. And a sac fly back in the 2nd inning. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. So Atchison 2 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs. Didn't walk anybody, nor did he strike anybody out. Charge with the 2 of the 11 runs the Jays have in the game tonight. Bouncing in, 1-2. Red Sox Baseball on NESN is brought to you in part by Eastern Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox Television Network. Eastern Bank, the best team in banking. 2 outs in the top of the 5th. 2 runs in for the Jays here in the 5th on top 11-0. Banged out 13 hits. It's ball 2 to Batista, and it's 2-2. Bowden into the game, pitched to a perfect 9th inning in Tuesday's win against the Angels. Allowed runs in just 1 of his 5 appearances this season. To right field, and J.D. Drew started in, now goes back and makes the catch on the liner that ends the inning. 2 runs for Toronto. The Jays lead it 11-0. Back at Fenway Park, it's 11-0. The Jays on top. Meredith Vieira is alongside. Great to have you with us tonight.
Thank you. I have nothing to do with this. Don't blame me.
Well, the score is 11-0, but you threw out a great first pitch tonight.
Well, it bounced, didn't it?
It's okay, though.
It doesn't matter as long as it gets there.
Oh, okay, good. Then it was brilliant. Maybe they could use me. I got the jersey on later.
There's the first pitch of the inning to Bill Hall. Leads it off. We'll take a look at your first pitch in case you don't remember.
You're cruel. Well, so far I'm doing very well. See, I jumped the white line.
Yep, you didn't mess that up. That's not bad. 1 hop.
Mora did great. Hers didn't hop. She did very well.
Well, we understand you practiced today in the Today Show.
I did. I practiced with Al Roker, actually.
This one has popped up into center field and waiting as Wells for the first out of the inning. We'll take a look at some of this footage from this morning.
That's me and Alan. That's Natalie Morales.
What
happens was I don't even see her fall. That looks like I'm shaking my head like, boy, what a loser. I didn't see her. People later said, you're pretty insensitive, Meredith. You didn't care that Natalie fell on her bum.
Well, Al cared. It looks like
Al saw it. I'm still talking about the pitch.
How did you get all those New Yorkers to get Boston hats on?
They did it for me. They took them off pretty quickly, though.
Now, you are from New England originally, yes?
I'm from Rhode Island, yeah.
Very nice.
And half my family were Red Sox fans and half were Yankee fans. I was definitely a Red Sox fan. And always will be. It does. I think there are probably more Sox fans there than Yankees, but that's okay.
Started at Channel 10?
Started at Channel 10. I actually, started at WEI when it was all news radio.
Wow.
Yeah, 1975 when I was at Tufts University as an intern. And then when I moved over to television, it was Channel 10, WJR-TV.
You went so many places. The View.
The View.
What was that like?
That was a lot of estrogen. A lot. It was great. And I still love those ladies. They do a great job. Bill O'Reilly actually is going to come down, I think, and see you. He goes on there occasionally.
He mixes it up pretty good with everybody.
Yeah, with everybody.
Yeah.
Because he's a troublemaker.
Now, are you used to getting up these early hours in the morning now?
You know, I don't think I'll ever get used to it. I'm a night person.
Yeah.
This is the time of day when I come, or night that I come alive, but it's worth it. Once you get there to the show, it's definitely worth it.
Well, everybody here tonight on behalf of the Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon, and we know that that's certainly such an important event here at Fenway Park for Red Sox fans, I'm sure near and dear to you as well.
Absolutely. What they do to fight cancer and help to hopefully find a cure for it, it's just amazing. $600 million, I think, since their founding in 1948. And it's, I think it's great that that's the official charity of the Red Sox as well. So I'm proud to be here.
3-2 pitch coming to Darnell McDonald. And it's up high, ball 4. A one-out walk in the 5th.
Do you get to spend much time around here, even though you're working in New York? Or
we bought a little place on Cape Cod in Wellfleet, and now we're coming every weekend religiously. It takes a long time to get here, but once you're here, it's great. Yeah. It's such a wonderful place.
Get out of the city a little bit.
Get out of the city, grab a lobster.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Pinch hitter coming up here for Marco Scudero. Yamaiko Navarro, who was just called up today when placed on the DL, was Dustin Pedroia. His number is between AA and AAA this season, hitting a 275 altogether. One out in the inning, a runner at first. This one is down the line at third and kicks off the boxes. And it is a single for Yamaiko Navarro in his first at bat.
This is when it's going to happen. The game's going to turn around.
This could be the beginning right here.
This is it.
Navarro gets a fastball inside and hooks it right down that third base line, so he's not waiting around. He gets a chance up here at the big league level and jumps on that very first pitch for the base hit.
So his first major league hit, first and second. Red Sox trying to get something going. How often did you get to Fenway Park growing up?
Well, as a kid, I didn't get here very much, but when I went to college, I was here for practically every home game. It's a miracle I graduated from college. So I spent a lot of times on the stands with a beer. So every game was a good game.
Win or lose.
Exactly. How do you guys decide which one of you is going to talk?
Well, he kind of leads everything. He's the play-by-play guy.
Oh, okay.
And I'm supposed to be the guy that explains everything.
He's the expert.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be the expert, but I don't know that much. I really don't. They just throw stuff out there.
So, Jerry, you basically translate. Is what happens?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Breaks it down and explains what just happened. Ted Lowry bats and lines it into left field. Darnell McDonald will stop at third, and the Red Sox will have him loaded as they're starting to get to Brett Cecil here a little bit.
Well, you're bringing a little luck to the Red Sox right now.
I better be.
Lowry with the line drive base hit to left field, so Red Sox trying to make a little noise here in the bottom of the 5th.
Lowry now with an 8-game hitting streak with that base hit. Bases loaded, one out.
Do you guys have any idea how many points they've been behind, runs they've been behind, and then come back? Like, has there been
most?
Well, I don't
something to 0 where they actually came back and won?
I don't know. This is catchable.
Yes, of
course. I mean, it's a long way, but
it is doable.
Don't turn the TV off.
Don't give up.
No, never.
They're coming back, and we're hanging out with Meredith Vieira. How much better does it get than this? One out here in the 5th. Victor Martinez standing in with the bases loaded.
Ooh.
And it's inside, ball 1.
Plus, we're all here for the Jimmy Fund the last couple of days and trying to raise as much money as possible. And
going for the $5 million, right? Hopefully.
Hopefully, but the tote board keeps going up and up. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, anything's appreciated, that's for sure.
That's the thing. I think people sometimes think they have to donate a lot. Anything will help.
Absolutely.
1-0 is up high, and it's 2-0. We have an answer to your question, too, by the way. The biggest deficit overcome by the Red Sox is 11 runs. 11 runs.
See, so you're right where you want them.
Exactly.
We got them right where we want them right now.
Back in 1950, so it's been a little while.
You can make a little turn on that, and it works. When was it?
1950.
1950.
It was against the Indians. But it can be done. Martinez grounds one down the third baseline. McDonald touches third, fires to first. It'll be 2, and the end of the inning. Meredith, thanks so much for coming up.
Close.
We appreciate it. Great to meet you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Nice to meet both you guys. Thank you.
Eastern Bank. For each Red Sox win this month, the Eastern Bank Charitable Foundation will donate $500 to the Boys and Girls Club of Lynn and Greater Salem. Well, we head here to the top half of the sixth inning, 11-0. The Blue Jays on top. This is in the air to right field as J.D. Drew makes his way in and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Changes for the Red Sox. Michael Navarro stays in the game at shortstop after he had his first major league hit, and Dusty Brown, who was called up today, is now doing the catching. So one out here in the sixth inning, and John Buck is coming up. Jerry, I believe we're about to be in the no spin zone. As Bill O'Reilly joins us up here in the booth as we move along to the sixth inning.
I drive all the way up here from New York. It's 11-0.
How about that?
I mean, I'm a Red Sox fan, and it's 11-0 to the Toronto Blue Jays, Remy. How do you explain that?
Plenty of time to come back.
Yeah, okay,
plenty of time.
Nobody's left, so they believe it. And I'm here with Governor Romney up there. You know that?
We saw you sitting together down there.
Yeah. You know, he's trying to persuade me to run for vice president.
Now, is there no spin zone tonight, or have you already taped it?
No, I took the day off to come on up here to my second home, Boston. So, you know, it's August. It's slow. Country's all right. So I figured I'd come up here to the best ballpark in the world. And that's, I'm not just saying it. Wrigley's second. This is first.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You have to, though. You're paid to that. I don't have to. It really is the best ballpark in the world.
How often do you get to the best ballpark in the world?
I get them about 6 times a year. Usually when the Yankees play, you know, I come up and everybody's asked me who I'm rooting for. And I'm really a Mets fan because I was brought up on Long Island. Most people think I'm from Boston because I worked here for many years and went to Harvard and BU. Well, there's another Blue Jay hit.
Third of the night for John Buck. He's 3 for 4 in the game.
Of course, tonight we're all raising money for the Jimmy Fund. And,
and I'm going to send you guys a donation, and I think the governor will too. So we're going to send you, you know, look, this cancer thing. It's been going on for way, way too long, but I hear that they're very close. So there's, you know, people listening, I know you hear it all the time, but the technology today is fantastic. So we got to give them a shot to save some lives here, and we will.
And again, the money not going just to the patients, but also the research and the fine work they do. Dana-Farber year in and year out, and heard so many of the stories from the kids all day long, and the doctors as well. And they're getting closer, but we need your help tonight.
Yep. And I hear you're doing very well, by the way. I was listening to Ordway on the radio today. He's raising a lot of money. People are really stepping up in a bad economy.
About $2.5 million right now, I believe, somewhere in that neighborhood. So the goal is $5 million. Still got some time.
Blue Jays on top here 11-0 with 1 out and 1 on, and Aaron Hill waiting on an 0-1. Fly ball to right field sends J.D. Drew back a few steps and over. And there's 2 down here in the 6th inning.
Now, who's the left fielder? I don't even know this guy.
Daniel Nava.
Who is that?
Well, he came up earlier this year, one of the 41 players that have been on the roster this season.
I know, they're all hurt, right?
It's unbelievable.
We've had our share of injuries, and we've seen a lot of guys come up from AAA.
And you had like 18 catchers, right?
Close.
Every time I come up here. There's some guy named Monty catching the other day. He doesn't even work for the Red Sox. He was in some softball game, and then, hey, you, over here. It was like Sandlot.
Well, right now, Dusty Brown is in right now.
Dusty Brown.
Dusty Brown is in the game.
It's number 412 on his jersey. No, that's 68. Dusty Brown. You know, look, you figure this Patriots would have all of these guys under this, but baseball's supposed to be a gentle game, you know, an artful game. Look at Remy. Didn't he play 40 years?
Something
and the
like
guy can hardly find a men's room. And he's out there fielding the ground, and he's throwing it here, there, and that are all in the hospital. I'm like, what is going on? I think it's the meal money.
They don't make them like they used to, that's for sure.
Well, you know, when you get $480 a day meal money and you got to eat, you're a little bloated out there, you know.
That sounds like O'Reilly money.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
What is it, 9 years now, number 1?
Yeah, going on 10.
Going on 10.
Going on 10.
Shortchanged him, Jerry.
Well, going on 10.
Yeah, no, it's still 9, but we're, since CNN has evaporated, we're going to probably make it to 10. My God. They are the Pittsburgh Pirates of television.
Do you have a favorite guest that you had on over the years?
You know, not really. We have so many different. I had Sylvester Stallone on last night. He's hysterical to me. I mean, this guy's 86 years old, still blowing people. I said to him, I said, how old are you, and how are you going to go to, like, wait, it's another home run?
Back to deep left.
Another home run.
A 3-run home run and a 14-0 Jays lead. This is their third 3-run home run of the night.
My God.
John McDonald wasn't even supposed to be in the starting lineup. Has a 3-run shot.
Well, I'm predicting the Sox are going to win the next 2 games. So we'll give them this one. But Stallone, I said to him last night, are you going to be blowing up old age homes? I mean, what are you doing? The guy is 80. Boom. Right into the... That's it.
Have you done any play-by-play before?
I did this is an interesting story. I did take me out to the ball game at Wrigley a few years ago with Buck and McCarver. And this is when McGuire was still playing. And he wasn't playing that day because he could hardly walk because he was steroided up and his whole body gave out. So I walk into the booth with these guys. Hey, Bill O'Reilly, Valley Falcon. And I did the half inning with them. And then I said to the director, I was wearing headphones like this, show me McGuire in the visiting dugout over there for the Cardinals. And they popped McGuire. And he said, okay. I said, do you guys have any idea what this guy is taking? I thought Joe Buck was going to throw up. That was before any of it. And McCarver looks at me like, and Buck says, it was such a nice afternoon. What happened? So that was the last time Fox Sports invited me to do anything.
He must not have realized he was in the no-spin zone at the time.
You know, some people still don't. Some people still don't.
It's a ball and 2 strikes to Travis Snyder with 2 outs in the inning as he takes a pitch inside. It's 2-2.
Well, all teams have days like this. And you just get it out of your system and win the next 2.
Well, sometimes these are easier to take than 1-0 losses in extra innings. But the Red Sox right now can't afford to be losing too many games with the Yankees playing good and Tampa Bay playing good.
Yeah, but Tampa Bay, you know, Oakland's tough at home. And the Yankees are getting shut out by Seattle, of all people. But somebody asked me on the way up how come nobody's left the game. And I looked at it, I said, you're not from Boston? They said, no. And I said, going to a Red Sox game isn't going to a game, it's going to an event. This is an event. This is a community gathering. It doesn't matter if it's 40-0. They're going to stay as long as they're going to stay. Because that's just a tradition. And that's what you guys got going. Thanks for having me in.
Thanks, Bill.
We'll help the Jimmy Fund.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, Jeremy. Good to see you. I'm glad you make a big comeback here.
Thank you.
All right.
14-0. Introducing Arbor Coat Exterior Stain by Benjamin Moore, a revolutionary waterborne stain that outperforms the best oil-based stains on the market. Find Arbor Coat at your local Benjamin Moore retailer. Well, it is 14-0. The Blue Jays are on top, bottom of the 6th inning. Earlier, yes, right-hand batter's up, and Jerry quickly and astutely said that's Mitt Romney in behind the shoulder of that young man. And then next to him was Bill O'Reilly. So first we had Bill O'Reilly. Now we have Mitt Romney. How you doing?
It's great to be here. Announcer boy. It's very nice.
Thanks for coming up.
Thank you. Good to be here.
We're all here, of course, for the Jimmy Fund tonight and the radio telethon. And I realize you know how closely these two organizations are tightly knit, the Red Sox and the Jimmy Fund.
Absolutely. And make a real difference in the lives of a lot of people. And a lot of young people in particular. So happy to be here tonight and support the team, support the Jimmy Fund. And team's not doing as well as we'd hoped. Maybe David could light it up tonight. Well, a little short on that one.
To right field, and Jose Batista, who will make the catch for the first out of the bottom of the 6th inning.
We actually get to see you here quite often. How many games do you get to a year?
You know, I hope to be able to do 5 or 6 or 7 games. The season tickets that my family has have been taken over by my son Tag, and so if I'm
whenever he invites you,
yeah, exactly right. When he says it's okay, and tonight he said, hey, if you can bring Bill O'Reilly, you can come sit in the box. Yeah, the misfortune with the seats I have, or fortune if you think of it that way, is that we tend to get on camera when there's a right-handed batter, and then you guys say, oh gosh, who's down there today? So.
Well, sometimes we'll see Joseph Abboud over in that general area. Is he part of your season ticket package?
No, he's right across the little bar there. He's in the seats next to us, and what a great guy. You know that?
Terrific.
Big employer in Fall River. He's been a real hero to his home state.
Adrian Beltre batting with 1 out of the inning, and pitch outside for ball 2-0. Well, for the fans out there who have not donated yet, what would you say to them tonight as far as the Jimmy Fund goes?
Well, you know, this is a team that has made the Jimmy Fund a big part of the heart and character of Red Sox Nation. And, you know, we cheer for the Sox. A lot of people watch the Sox at home. But one way you can show that you really care about this team and care about the things they care about is making a contribution to the Jimmy Fund. And whether it's $5 or $10 or a lot more, it's a way of connecting with the team and pointing out that we in this city, in this state, in this region care about helping people who have a deadly disease.
As you saw, the tote board, $2.7 million at the moment, and of course the goal is $5 million. Hoping for tonight. 877-738-1234. You can help out and into the research in all parts and all facets of the Dana-Farber Center, which is growing and growing, and hopefully the cure for cancer is coming sooner and sooner.
Well, you see every year enormous advances in different forms of cancer, children cancer, but adult cancer as well, that they keep on finding new ways to treat cancers. The cure for all cancer, I don't know when that's going to happen, but every year there are more lives being saved and lives being lengthened thanks to the work of Dana-Farber and the Jimmy Fund.
Well, it was a pleasure to have you up here. We really appreciate you coming up. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Don. I'm happy to join you with a contribution. How much you putting in, Jerry? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to put you on the spot.
A contribution.
Yeah, me too. I'll be happy to make a contribution.
We thank you so much.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you.
A 14-0 lead right now for the Blue Jays, and a fly ball sent foul down the left field line. 1 out, 1 on here in the 6th. Daniel Nava took over for Mike Lowell, who was 0 for 2 in this game. $16 hits in the game for the Jays, who had 14 runs. And a swing and a miss. Nava strikes out for the second out of the inning. President and CEO of the Boston Red Sox is now here, Larry Lucchino. Larry.
Gentlemen.
Very nice to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you, and thanks for the great work you've been doing today. WEI started this Radiothon, Telethon with us in the first year in 2002. So we're in our 9th year, as you well know, and thanks for all the effort to everybody at WEI. You guys have been thanking everyone else. I just want to take a minute to thank you for the leadership and hard work you guys have put into this effort.
We've got a long way to go here tonight, and we're hopeful that everybody gets involved. 2.7 right now. I know the goal is $5 million, and it is amazing how Red Sox Nation have stepped up with their generosity in the past, and again, we ask them again to do so.
Absolutely. We have until midnight tonight, and if I can join in with the chorus of people making requests to friends of the Red Sox, fans of the Red Sox, corporate sponsors of the Red Sox, employees of the Red Sox, anyone and everyone. This is as good a cause as you can get, and this money is extremely needed and well used. And if we can get the extended Red Sox family to join in here in this, as they have in previous years, and as I think they will for years to come, because we at the Red Sox want this relationship with Jimmy Fund and the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to deepen and expand in the years ahead.
Brian Kalish is pitching in here as he takes ball 1. I don't think a lot of people know, maybe some people do know, your relationship with the Dana-Farber dates back far before your relationship with the Red Sox.
That's true. I'm a satisfied consumer. I came up when I was with the Orioles. I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I came up to Boston to be treated at Dana-Farber.
We finish up next half inning with Larry Lucchino. It is 14-0. The Blue Jays have the lead.
MGM Grand at Foxwoods presents King of the Cage featuring merciless Ray Mercer. It will keep you on the edge of your seat. Coming on September 17th at 7:30 p.m. in the MGM Grand Theater.
14-0 as we play along to the top half of the 7th inning back at Fenway Park. The changes for the Red Sox as Manny Del Carmen comes into the game, becomes the 4th arm of the night, used by Terry Francona's 47th appearance of the year, 3-2 with a 4.68 ERA and a 200 opponent batting average. Other changes for the Red Sox: Ryan Kalish takes over in right field, gives J.D. Drew the rest of the night off. And joining us in the booth, the president and CEO of the Boston Red Sox, Larry Lucchino. And Larry, we talked a little bit about the Jimmy Fund, obviously, last inning, but we've seen other teams try to kind of replicate what has gone on here in Boston and been so successful. The Dodgers with Think Cure. And what a catch by Nava in left field. First of all, makes a nice grab out there in left field. But it's amazing how the other teams in Major League Baseball are trying to do what was already been done here in Boston.
Yeah, we are very fortunate to have a long history and tradition here of charitable connection to Dana-Farber and the Jimmy Fund in particular. I heard Commissioner Seelig come on this afternoon when he donated $45,000, and he made a specific reference to the fact that many baseball teams are attempting to emulate the relationship that we have with the Jimmy Fund. But it's one thing that we have is a history, a tradition, a passion, and I hope many teams do develop one. But this one will always be different because it will go back to Ted Williams and to Tom Yawkey and to players who have preceded us and executives who have preceded us. And that 57-year history is hard to duplicate.
Last night we had Dave Roberts on. He, of course, was diagnosed with cancer, and he said one of the first call he made was to you.
Yeah, we had a good talk because Dave had the same diagnosis that I had, except he had the good fortune, if I can put it that way, of having it 20 plus years later, and tremendous progress has been made, in large part by some of the work at Dana-Farber and my doctor, Lee Nadler, coming up with new modalities of treatment that make the whole process more efficient and less damaging. You don't have to destroy the village in order to save it, which is what they had to do many years ago. But Dave is a tough guy, and he's doing quite well. And what a gentleman! He's just a very remarkable, impressive guy. And we love having him connected to this team. And he will always be connected to this team.
You talk about your doctor. I think I'm always amazed when Jerry and I go to talk to the different patients, whether they're done or not, how closely in contact they are with their doctors during the entire process and well after the process.
Yeah. It is true. I mean, my doctor has become a lifelong friend. He still looks after me and makes sure I do this and do that and see the right doctors for other ailments. So it's a remarkable institution, and I wish there were new words or new ways of putting it, because people have just been hearing for days what a great asset the Jimmy Fund and the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute are for Boston and New England, for the nation, really. I mean, I was living in the Mid-Atlantic area and came up here because of its reputation and the doctors. It is a caring institution full of world-class doctors and world-class researchers, and it simply needs the mother's milk of research and treatment, which is money for fresh ideas. And as I said, I wish I had a new and different way of putting it, but we are very fortunate up here to have this institution right in our midst. And it's not just Boston. So, I mean, we call on Red Sox fans in Connecticut and New Hampshire and Maine, Rhode Island, Vermont, everywhere up here, and of course across the nation. This is an asset for this entire nation, and we need to take good care of it.
There's also a charity that has crossed many lines for years. George Steinbrenner would call in with his contribution. Of course, this year, the passing of George Steinbrenner.
Yes, he leaves an enormous void in the game and in the Yankee organization. He did many things, like his Jimmy Fund contributions annually. He and I crossed swords quite a lot of times, but I had enduring respect for the size of his heart when it came to children and charity.
This is the right field, sending Kalish back. He turns and makes the grab for the second out of the inning. So 2 down here in the top half of the 7th inning. We'll return to the team here for just a moment. What a season this has been as far as injury.
Yes.
Have you seen anything like this during the course
No,
of your
this
career?
is my 31st season in baseball, and I've never been part of a wave of injuries like this. Certainly there have been, other teams have had these kinds of issues, but we haven't done the research to know if, we have 19, I think it's about 19 players, or maybe over 20 now, that have gone on the disabled list, and some for more than one stint. But it's been a very difficult season to navigate around. But we're still in the hunt. Here we are at the 20th of August, and we're still in the hunt. This game is one of those games that happens every year. You're going to get beat by a couple of touchdowns, one game or another. And it's unfortunate that it happened here in the first game of this series. But, our guys will move along. They're professional baseball players. They know that, tomorrow is another day. And we all should remember that. Let's just get through this game.
And a tribute to Red Sox Nation, Larry. If you take a look around this ballpark, the people who are still here with a 14-0 score.
Yeah, I am amazed. I heard Bill O'Reilly earlier, and as I suggested to you when I came on, I'm kind of the Democratic response to O'Reilly and Mitt Romney. But I will say that I agree with Riley on his observation about the game at Fenway. It's not just a game; it is an event. It's a community happening. It's there's a spirit and a I don't know, do we use the word vibe, but just a great feeling at the ballpark. And most other ballparks would be pretty darn empty by now, but these fans are in a class by themselves.
How's the sellout streak going? How does it look for the rest of the year?
Well,
High fly ball to deep center field, and that one will ride out of here.
Oh, my goodness.
Vernon Wells has added here. Actually, this is Batista who has added here. His 38th home run of the year. The major league leader will touch them all, and it's 15-0.
Yeah. We have a shot to answer your question about the streak. We have a shot to keep it going. I think it's at about 6:10 or 6:11 tonight, and there's an excellent chance to keep it going. But we need to stay in the hunt, and we need our fans to turn out in September and support this team. Certainly not all the tickets are sold. They were not sold out for the rest of the season. We saved some tickets for a day of game sales, and so it'll with a little luck we can keep it going.
It does seem that's a misconception, I think, for Red Sox fans since 2003 that there are no tickets available, and there are.
Yeah, there are tickets. We saved some, and there are. Now they're not the same cream of the crop tickets that might be available for if you purchased early, but sometimes some of those tickets pop up at the end as well. So as long as we have the kind of support we have from our fans, we will have a team worthy of their support. We will channel those funds into the ball club.
And Dwayne Wise pinch hitting here for Vernon Wells with 2 down in the inning. Visiting with the president and CEO of the Boston Red Sox, Larry Lucchino, on Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon night number 2 here from Fenway Park. And again, we hope that you will make your gift tonight at 877-738-1234. Yeah.
What's the number, Don? Do you know the number?
It is 877-738-1234.
I was actually thinking of the tote board number as well. Do you know that?
2.6, I think.
2.6? Good. There's always a last-minute surge.
Larry, thanks very much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. You're doing God's work. Thank you.
Larry. 15-0 Jays. For the Red Sox, time now for tonight's Twisted but True Fact on Wednesday. The Mahoning Valley Scrappers honored actor Ed O'Neill and his most famous character, Al Bundy. Scrappers gave away Polk High T-shirts, the school Bundy made famous in the show Married with Children. The home team picked up the win, scoring 4 runs, the same number of touchdowns Bundy once scored in a game for Polk High. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea is the refreshing hard iced tea. It tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. Dwayne Wise, who pinch hit for Vernon Wells, takes over for him in center field as we move along to bottom of the 7th inning. Jays adding a run on the home run by Batista. Have a 15-0 lead in this game.
Tomorrow night, it's Olympia Sports presents the Boston Globe Red Sox Game Day Live with Catherine Tappan and Jim Rice. Daisuke Matsuzaka takes the mound looking for his 3rd win against Toronto this season. That and much more tomorrow night at 6, only on NESN.
$15-0, the Blue Jays on top of the Red Sox as we head to the home half of the 7th inning. It'll be Bill Hall who leads it off. That Cecil has worked his way into the 7th. Shutout innings. They have not been perfect innings, but here he is in the 7th with a big lead. He's given up 7 hits, walked a couple along the way. Hall hits a fly ball to the left at Snyder, who's there to make the catch for the first out here of the 7th inning. Hall 0 for 3 tonight. So 1 down. Darnell McDonald coming up. On the pitching line is brought to you by your Boston area Lexus dealers. Cecil's gone 6 1/3, 7 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and has 6 strikeouts. Pitch up high and away, and the count 1-1. This one grounded foul. Popped up into shallow right center field, falling fast, and trying to make the catch over the shoulder is Hill. For the only opportunity, and he can't make the grab. Glances off the glove, and McDonald will reach for the 3rd time in the game tonight.
Now, like a wide receiver going back and trying to make a play over the shoulder. Aaron Hill gives it an attempt, but can't do that. And Donnell McDonald on base for the 3rd time, as Don mentioned, 2 hits and a walk.
Five pitches for Brett Cecil, 1 out here in the 7th. McDonald at first base, and there's Yamaiko Navarro get his first major league hit in the 5th inning. Navarro called up today with Dustin Pedroia going on the DL. 3 classifications this year for Navarro: AA Portland, AAA Pawtucket, and now in Boston. Outside for ball 2, 2-1. There is action in the pen for Toronto. Jesse Carlson is up and warming, left-hander. Swing and a miss as it gets away, and taking second is McDonald. It's time for a game break, and Catherine Tappan. Catherine? Back at Fenway Park, where it's 15-0. The Toronto Blue Jays on top of the Red Sox. This will be pitch number 100 for Brett Cecil. He's charged with a wild pitch. Got McDonald to second as Navarro sends a high fly ball to center field. That goes wise to the warning track to make the catch for the second out as we check back in with Heidi.
Well, Danya, Michael Navarro was called up to take the place of Dustin Pedroia. This is the first major league call-up for the 22-year-old Navarro. He started the season at AA Portland and was promoted to Pawtucket on August 2nd. Now, between the two teams, Navarro played 77 games at shortstop, 24 at third base, and just 2 at second base. He was in spring training with the Red Sox and said before the game that he really watches Adrian Beltre and tried to model himself after the Sox second baseman. Don, Jerry?
Hey, thanks very much, Heidi. As with 2 outs here in the inning, Darnell McDonald at second base. Jed Lowry batting for the 4th time tonight. Has flied out twice and single. One of the 8 hits the Red Sox have off Brett Cecil. Cecil has never beaten the Red Sox. It has a 15-0 lead pitching into the 7th inning. This one is lined down the left field line foul. So 102 pitches now on the night, as high as 114. Came into this game 9-6, 3.96 ERA. His 21st start of the year. Up top for ball 1, 1-2. And the Yankees are trailing 6-0. Tampa Bay playing Oakland tonight on the West Coast. Oakland was able to win a 1-run game out there last night against the Tampa Bay Rays. The Sox starting the night 6.5 back of New York, 5.5 back at Tampa Bay. This one shot foul, still 1-2. Two and 2. Jerry, you were saying earlier that these are easier to take than the devastating 2-1 losses.
I mean, no loss is easy to take, but I mean, it's, you know, you kind of sit out there and go, let's just get this one over with and move on to tomorrow.
And not kill the pen in the process, I guess.
Exactly. A lot of the players, you know, out of the game.
Pitch up high, ball 3.
It's also very painful to broadcast.
I was going to ask you about that. You mentioned it earlier, so I thought I'd ask you. I don't have the benefit of being down there, so from up here.
It's not fun for either place. No.
The 3-2 pitch to Lowry. Here's ball 4, and he heads down to first base. Walk allowed by Cecil. 2 outs in the inning, 2 on. Friday Night Baseball on NESN is brought to you by Ace Ticket. Great seats at great prices. 2 on, 2 down. As Dusty Brown bats here. He took over for Victor Martinez behind the plate. On 2 for 11 in the majors this year with the Red Sox. No homers, no runs batted in. Brown got called up last night in his second stint of the year with the Red Sox. He will strike 1, 1-1. Numbers with Pawtucket this year in 64 games, a .219 average, 7 homers and 28 runs batted in. He appeared in 6 games, 3 starts, and his first stint for the Red Sox back July 17th through the 25th. Wrapped foul outside of third.
Seems like it's been going this way for a while, Don. Red Sox lose, and the Yankees lose. Or Tampa Bay loses. Red Sox win, Yankees win, Tampa Bay wins.
Very tough to gain ground under those circumstances.
It's been going that way for quite a while, a couple weeks.
Red Sox played very well against the Angels, unable to really gain any ground at all. This is to left field for Brown, and a base hit. Red Sox will get on the board. From second comes Darnell McDonald. He'll score. Coming around is Lowry. He'll score, and the Red Sox score a pair to get on the board. Dusty Brown drives in 2. Cito Gaston will make the change. The Blue Jays have a 15-2 lead. Fun radio telethon. Catch all the highlights Sunday at noon on the Ultimate Red Sox Show, presented by Arbella Insurance. That's Cecil Dunn after 6 2/3 innings. He gives up 9 hits and 2 runs so far. Jesse Carlson, the left-hander, into the game. And a first pitch strike to David Ortiz. Tuesday got a no decision against the A's. And the appearance this season for the left-hander, an inning, a run, 2 hits, a walk, and no strikeouts. Ortiz doubled in the 4th inning as he takes a pitch away, 1-1. The center fielder, Dwayne Wise, is over towards right center. They play for David DePaul. Goes the other way instead and sends it foul down the left field line, 1-2. Red Sox getting 2 runs here in the 7th inning to get on the board. A 2-run double by Dusty Brown. First RBIs of the year in a Red Sox uniform for Brown is at second base with 2 down. 2-2 to Big Papi. Is chopped foul towards the Red Sox dugout. Dunkin' Donuts is in its 11th year of hosting local youth groups and charitable organizations in the Dunkin' dugout, a special seating section at Fenway Park. Thousands of children have had the chance to catch a Red Sox home game thanks to Dunkin' Donuts. And they're hanging in out there right now with the Red Sox down 15-2. A 2-2. Goes to left field at Snyder, hooking right at him as he makes the catch. It ends the inning. Red Sox get 2 runs in the 7th. It's 15-2 Boston, or 15-2 Blue Jays at the end of 7. Live. 15-2. The Toronto Blue Jays on top. Ground ball to third base. Batted down by Beltre. Stays with it, and the throw is not in time. He almost still got John Buck. After all that, Buck will reach for the 4th time in the game tonight.
Beltre going to his left, has the ball deflect up off of the glove, and it incredibly bounces to him back into the glove, and he almost gets Buck at first base.
Well, Bill Hall has moved from second to short, and Michael Navarro from short to second. Tim Wakefield into the game, his 26th appearance of the year. Pitched here last night. Opponents hitting at .262 against him, a 5.38 earned run average. Hill with a swing and a miss. Hill strikes out, and there's the first out here of the 8th. Let's check in with your Need to Know with Nesson Daily, presented by Sunlight Financial. Here's Jade McCarthy. Back at Fenway Park, 15-2. The Jays on top of the Red Sox with 1 out here in the 8th. John Buck is at first base with 1 out in the 8th. This one will get away from Dusty Brown, and to second base goes John Buck.
The Amica Pit Zone is brought to you by Amica Insurance. Amica Insurance is not just how you covered, it's how you treated. And 2 home runs tonight for Lyle Overbay, both times going to the opposite field. And both times off John Lester. First 2 at bats, 2 home runs, and 6 runs batted in for Lyle Overbay.
Last one was a pass ball charged to Dusty Brown. So fouled off to the left, 2-1. The Blue Jays with quite an attack tonight. 5 times they scored in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, 2 in the fifth, 3 in the sixth, 1 in the seventh. And strike 2 to Overbay. Buck at second base with 1 down here in the 8th. Popped up, foul, back and out of play. Popped up, foul, back and out of play again. Hangs it 2-2. Hit attack tonight for the Jays of 15 runs, no errors. Red Sox 2 runs, 9 hits and an error. Toronto batting here in the 8th. John McDonald waiting on deck. Down and in, it darts, and it's 3-2. On the ground and throw into right field, a base hit for Overbay. A wave around Buck. Here comes the throw from right field. It is up the line, and the Jays pick up their 16th run. 16-2, and Overbay with 7 RBIs in the game.
Well, this might be a career night for Lyle Overbay. The 4 hits, 7 runs batted in, including 2 home runs.
New career high for him, the 7 RBIs. As a swing and a miss for John McDonald. McDonald was not even supposed to be in this game. Edwin Encarnacion was scratched just before the game. And it has been a 3-hit night, including a home run. This is sent foul. Time for the in-game box score, which is brought to you by Mass Mutual. And we take a look at the Blue Jays numbers. They have been staggering. And Lyle Overbay, 4 for 5, 2 homers, 7 runs batted in. These 2 3-run home runs as part of this 16-run attack. The Yankees and Mariners have gone final tonight in New York. Seattle blanks New York 6-0. Felix Hernandez on the mound tonight for the M's. 0-2 is grounded foul.
That means we would probably see Felix Hernandez in that series against the Mariners. Probably the last game of the series.
Which is not good news. This one getting away from Brown to advance for Overbay at first. The last time Tim Wakefield worked in back-to-back games, you got to go back to June 25th, 26th of 2002.
That's when he first came to the Red Sox, right?
No. Wakefield would have come to the Red Sox in 95.
95. What was it? Was he in the bullpen?
Must have been.
Was it wild? He was closing games, remember?
Yes. This is a swing and a miss and a pitch up. Second strikeout for Wakefield.
Knocked the ball up in the zone, and McDonald chases it. So Wakefield with a couple of strikeouts here in the 8th inning.
Snyder swing and foul tip, 0-1. So I've seen Lester, who started this game, and he went 2+ innings, giving up 9 runs, his shortest outing, most runs he's ever given up. Scott Atchison, Michael Bowden, Manny Del Carmen, and now Tim Wakefield, whose 0-1 is in there for strike 2. to center field. Darnell McDonald over into left center. Makes the catch. It ends the inning. Another run for the Jays. They lead at 16-2. (16-2). Blue Jays on top of the Red Sox. We head to the last half of the 8th inning. It is Adrian Beltre to lead it off for Boston here in the 8th. Jesse Carlson back on the mound for the Blue Jays. Carlson able to get the final out of the 7th inning. Got David Ortiz the line out to left. And he starts the 8th. Adrian Beltre has struck out twice tonight and walked. Chopper to short. Escobar. One down in the 8th.
After the game tonight, it's Granite City Electric Red Sox final with Catherine Tappan, Peter Gammons, and Jim Rice. They'll bring you the latest AL East and wild card updates. Don't miss it after the game, only on NESN.
Nava struck out in his first at bat. Michael Ohl had been batting in the spot earlier in the game, was 0 for 2. Nava batted in the 6th pinch hitting. Sends one foul back and out of play. Sliced foul off to the right, back into the seats. And back down again. 0-2 to Daniel Nava.
Ball's having a tough time staying in the stands. Kind of one of those nights, you know?
It has been. (0-2) grounded foul.
up and away, and it's 1-2. Two balls, two strikes to Daniel Nava. Jesse Carlson comes in after Brett Cecil goes 6 2/3. 9 hits, 2 runs, walked 3, struck out 6. Cecil has a chance to get his 10th win of the year and beat the Red Sox for the first time ever. 0-3 against Boston. Swing and a miss as Nava strikes out. Second out of the 8th. Join Jay McCarthy and Yuri Behringer tonight at 11 p.m. for Nesson Daily, presented by Sunlight Financial, a show for demanding sports fans. 2 down in the 8th inning, and coming up here is Ryan Kalish. Pinch hit for J.D. Drew in the 6th inning, getting his second at bat. It's a ground ball to first base, handled by Overbay, who flips to first to Carlson. And ends the 8th. We take to the 9th, 16-2, Toronto. A liner into center field for Fred Lewis to get the 9th inning started, as Tim Wakefield back on the mound for the 9th. On base 4 times tonight is Lewis. A walk and 3 hits, a double and 2 singles. Single up the middle off Wakefield here in the 9th inning. Wake into his 2nd inning of relief work.
And therefore strike 1 to Yanel Escobar. Didn't think so. And therefore strike 2. And it's 0-2 action for the Jays. Sean Camp, right-hander, warming in the pen. Popped up. The second baseman, Navarro, is out on the outfield grass to make the catch for the first out of the 9th inning. Time now for a look at the road ahead, brought to you by Safeco Insurance. Tomorrow, game 2 of the series will be Ricky Romero against Daisuke Matsuzaka. Romero has struggled versus the Sox this season, giving up 14 runs in 10 1/3 innings. Daisuke will be making his 4th start of the year against the Jays. He's 2-0. This year has 6 career wins against the Jays in his career. As this is ball 1 inside to Jose Bautista. SK Matsuzaka on the hill here tomorrow. Ricky Romero, the matchup. SK 8-4, Romero 10-7. The league leaders are brought to you by Olympia Sports, the official sporting goods retailer, the New England Sports Network. Home runs this month. Batista with a home run tonight now has 7 in the month. Adrian Beltre with 6. Paul Konerko, Mark Teixeira also with 6 home runs in the month of August. Popped up foul, backing out of play, and it's 2-2. Batista in 12 games against the Red Sox has 6 home runs this year. And a home run tonight for him, now 38 on the year. On the ground and picked nicely at third base by Beltre to second for 1, on to first for 2. What a play. Adrian Beltre starting the 5-4-3 that ends things in the top of the ninth. 16-2 Blue Jays.
To Campa, huh?
Yep. Customer satisfaction and retail banking in the New England region by J.D. Power and Associates. 16-2, the Toronto Blue Jays on top of the Red Sox. We head to the bottom of the ninth inning. And the new pitcher for the Jays is Sean Camp. 51st appearance of the year, 3.00 earned run average. He's logged 54 innings and opponents hitting .235 against him. Bill Hall has hung in there for the entire game. That's for the 4th time. He's 0 for 3. For a strike, 1-1. Reminder to stay with us after the game for WB Mason's Extra Innings Live. Complete post-game coverage is coming up. And the second night of our Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon. The total board right now of $2,757,796. For the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and the Jimmy Fund. And again, we hope you make your donation tonight. On the air through midnight tonight. As this one is lined to second and caught by Hill. So Hall is out number 1 of the ninth inning. McDonald coming up. He has been aboard 3 times from his number 9 spot in the order. Single, a walk, and a single. Scored a run. And then for strike 1. The 16 runs is the most allowed in the game by the Red Sox this year. The previous high allowed by Boston May 8th against New York. They lost 14-3 to New York. Gave up 14 runs to the Yankees, but 16 tonight banged out by the Jays, the most. It's the Red Sox in 2010. On to the backstop. And it's 2-1. Red Sox leading the season series coming into tonight's game 9-3. One more series between the two teams will be here at Fenway. Middle of September. Red Sox done with the Toronto portion of the season series. 3-1 is a broken bat. Deep, short, grounded Escobar's long throw gets there in time. 2 down. So 2 down in the 9th, and Michael Navarro coming up. And into the game at shortstop, it since has moved to second base. 1 for 2, getting his first major league hit tonight. Don't forget, after the game, to stay with us for Granite City Electric Red Sox final. It's coming up from our Nesson HD Television Center. And Nesson Daily, and then the telethon. Wrap it up tonight after Nesson Daily. Strike over the outside corner, and it's 0-2. Nothing in 2 down in the 9th to Michael Navarro. And that one down and in the dirt away. 1-2. It's Cecil, the pitcher of record for the Jays tonight. 6 2/3, giving up 2 runs. Plenty of run support, to say the least. Jesse Carlson went an inning and a third of relief. And Kemp wraps it up. Striking out is Navarro to end the game, as the Red Sox in a tough one tonight, losing 16-2. Blue Jays with 20 hits in the game. We're back at Fenway with more after this.